This woman is so horrible that, when she came to her son's school party, suddenly she saw a little girl across the street. She thought it was her daughter, who had died 7 years ago, so she followed her. She was stopped by the appearance of a little boy. When she got home and told her husband about it, the whole family thought she was crazy. This woman, Mary, had a happy family. She had a happy family, but one day, 7 years ago, a fire broke out in the hospital. Her newborn daughter died unexpectedly. She was devastated by this incident and, as a result, she developed mental problems. Her husband could not bear her suffering. He probably chose to divorce her. They took turns looking after her son. She was in a trance. Her son also became distant from her. On the day of her dead daughter's birthday, she would still call her son to celebrate his daughter's birthday. The son was terrified. When she went to pick up her son from school, she found the little girl again. She rushed to take out her mobile phone and kept taking pictures. Her intuition that it was her daughter was getting stronger and stronger, and asked her son, what was the name of the little girl? The son just said it was his classmate's sister. At night, she opened the door of the little girl's house. She peeped in and found that the girl had lost her footing and fallen into the water. Seeing that the little girl's mother did not notice, she rushed up and rescued her. When she woke up, realized that it was just a dream. During the day, she went to the school gate again, saw that the mother of her son's classmate had also come to pick up her son, so she followed her son. She found out that their house was for sale. She lied and tried to buy the house, and used the opportunity to get close to the girl, who was also her son's classmate anyway. Claire didn't think much of it. She was not too wary of her. She received her warmly. As Claire introduced her to her house, Mary's eyes turned to the girl. Mary's eyes kept turning to the little girl, asking for information about her. While they were discussing the price of the house, Mary makes an excuse to go to the bathroom, and sneaked into the little girl's room. Seeing that the little girl was not afraid of her, and she enthusiastically helped her to fix her hair. In the mirror, they looked so much alike that she trusts her instincts even more. As they left, the children agreed to go skating together on Sunday. When she found out that the little girl was going too, she readily agreed to do so that she could be close to the little girl again. This woman has terrible instincts. She found a little girl who looked like her daughter, who had died 7 years ago. She immediately went to the little girl and deliberately accosted her, and took her little hand and played happily with her before her mother saw her. She played happily with her. She wanted to get closer to the little girl. She came up behind her and kissed her involuntarily. Suddenly, the man in front of her accidentally bumped into. The little girl flew off in an instant. Claire saw the man coming quickly. She tried to help but was refused. Luckily, the little girl only had a runny nose. Mary kept apologizing, but her mother didn't give her a good look. To make it up to the little girl, she wanted to take her to the playground. Claire said they were moving and didn't have time. She took the little girl and left. She returns home as if she has lost her soul. She always knew in her gut that the little girl is the daughter she lost. She is spotted by Claire as she watches her house. She thinks there must be something wrong with her. She also becomes suspicious of her, so she goes to the place where Mary works. She asks her why she is approaching her daughter. Mary is frank enough to. She told them what had happened to her. One day, 7 years ago, a fire broke out in the hospital. Her newborn daughter had died in the fire. It was only when she saw the little girl, she was sure she was her daughter. Claire thinks she's crazy. She tells her that her daughter was born in another hospital. Before she leaves, Claire warns her that the little girl was her daughter. She told her to stop being unreasonable. If she harasses them again, she would choose to call the police. At this point, Mary is incorrigible. The little girl was her lost daughter. Her thoughts had hardened. That day, she learns that the little girl was going to take part in a ballet performance. Before the girl's performance, she sneaked backstage to the performance. She tapped the girl on the shoulder and whispered to her not to be nervous. During the performance, the little girl kept looking backstage. The mother noticed something unusual about her daughter. She rushed to the stage, but met Mary at the stairway. She asks Mary if she is deliberately trying to get to her daughter. Mary says she said that she had simply come to see the ballet. She rushed off in a hurry. With tears in her eyes, she told her ex-husband that she had met a little girl that, like the daughter they had lost 7 years earlier. The family thought she had a nervous breakdown. By now her husband has brought in a lawyer. It turns out that Mary has left her son at school again. This time the husband wants to take custody of her son. She has left her son at school numerous times. Both the children and her ex-husband are completely disillusioned with her. The family also wants her to get over the loss of their daughter, to prove that the little girl is her own. Mary takes advantage of a moving party at Claire's house. She sneaks into Claire's house silently. She tries to get the girl's hair for DNA testing. Unfortunately, she collides head-on with Claire. Claire angrily asked her to leave, and warned her not to think about her daughter again, or she will call the police. But Mary is still determined. Outside, she waits for the party to break up. While Claire and the girls are cleaning up, she sneaks in again. She comes into the little girl's room. She takes the scissors and lifts the covers. She finds only a rag doll. It turns out that Claire has already moved the baby. As she was leaving, she accidentally bumped into the table. The alarm in Claire's house is set off. Claire rushes upstairs to check. Mary had already gone into the cupboard. Claire sees nothing unusual before turning around and leaving. Mary spent the rest of the night in the cupboard. In the morning, Claire's husband went out to collect the 2 children. A slamming door woke her up. She then climbed out. She crawled out and continued to search for the little girl's lost hair. Soon afterwards, she found the hair on a comb. She went downstairs to leave quietly. Claire found her. She tried to escape. The two become entangled. She confronts Mary's obsession and persistence. Finally breaks Claire's secret. it. She was sincere when she said that it was she who had saved the little girl in the hospital. That she was not the one who lost her daughter. She was the one who had lost her daughter. To ease the pain of losing her daughter, she had adopted her herself. This secret remained buried in her heart for 7 years. Not even her husband knew about it. Claire pleads with Mary to keep the little girl with her. When she turned her head, her husband and the children had long since returned and had heard everything. By this time, Mary's husband had also learned everything. They hugged each other. The hospital results came back. At last the truth was revealed. The girl's real mother was Mary. Afterwards, Mary also took Claire to court. The day before the trial, Claire's husband brought the girl in and the family was reunited. The family was finally reunited. Mary was able to stay with her daughter in a dignified manner. The end of the story is perfect. The woman's instincts are so accurate.